because we don't realize that we're hurting ourselves. Like you're conscious, but you just can't really function. You don't.
For the second graders, every day I talk about the weather. As the boys and girls in here can tell you, that's something that's real important to me, and it's something I find very interesting. So we talk about the weather a lot. We watch for the weather to change and so on. And we have a play that we'd like to present today. And I'm sure parents, you have been listening to the lines over and over that I'm sure you could take the place of some of the people up here. We do have a couple people that have gotten sick, and so we have some substitutes, so bear with us. They've done a great job already today just getting the script and memorizing it, so we present this afternoon to you, whether you like it or not.
Well, hello, folks. Why the weatherman here to tell you the friendly skies are flying for you today. Good news, neighbors, is like another sunny day that's on its way. That makes 3 straight weeks of sunshine non-stop, and that's just what we like, right? Plenty of sunshine coming our way. Sip-a-doo-dah, sip-a-day. And the 5-day forecast, more the same.
Well, I guess that's my game of see you around game.
I'm the star here. I should give you some attention.
Oh, but I never get the way you thunderclap. Scares me every time.
Sorry, Zap. You're used to having me follow you. I guess I didn't mean to clap before you cracked.
Never mind, Mom, but why did you crack it up like that? I think it's all because I made speak for all of us. We're getting pretty tired of hanging around the weather workshop while Bean gets to go out and shine. We've been out of work for weeks, and if we weren't already out of work, as head lightning bolt, I vote to straight. Who needs to start with?
Here, here. And at the thunderclaps, I say we start a rumble. We'll chase that beam away and have a chance to shine ourselves.
Such a waste, such a waste. All the beautiful snowflake petals and no place to be. With female beaming, there's no one for snowflake. There, Prakash. Now you are a great artist. As are you, Wayne Mom. We're just a little bit ahead of our time, that's all. The day will come and all our beautiful snowflake designs will fall into the hands of appreciative children. Then we will get the recognition we deserve, and the sun will burn with envy. I hope so, Wayne Mom, I hope so, but will the sun never rest? There, take that and that. Puff, puff, take it easy on the fluffing. Oh yeah, we're not going anywhere anyway, not as long as Bean is out trying to solve. Don't overfluff me now. Shut it. Oh, you serious gods, don't have enough fluff. Anyways, you're all too wispy and feathery. You want to take in more moisture and fatten you up. Who are you calling that? Stratus, you know I don't mean you. Well then, I guess you mean me. You're a rather full figure. I've been thinking of throwing the moisture washes to try and get something down on the water droplets. Never mind, Curious. It's that Nimbus who should watch it. He's the big dark one who always rains on everybody's parade. Where's Nimbus anyway? Out gathering moisture drops in case Beam ever decides to call it a day. I'm ready to call it a night. Isn't it almost time for glistening bright and me to do our nightlight show? There's night for you again, right on time. Get your glitter on, gang. It's time for the skies. So long now, fair weather friends. I'm gonna take. Bee, what happened to you? You look like you just spent the day at the equator. I've had it. I'm exhausted, burned out. I don't think I can face another day. You guys, you've got to come
discovered me. They're expecting me to show tomorrow, and I just haven't got it. So long now, farewell, friends.
You're gonna drop it, and then it's gonna be a big problem.
Is there like a switch in the front? Like what's right here?
That's eject the battery.
Good, now the battery's wasted. Maybe you have to press record to
I did.
We have a fluid in, you guys, maybe any of you went to the table that had the eyeball? Yeah. You know there's a fluid inside your eye? Well, we have these little valves in our eyes that kind of work to, you know, if there's, we produce this fluid constantly, so if we have this too much fluid, the eyeball lets some out. With glaucoma, none of the fluid ever is released, so that you get this buildup and you get this pressure, and this pressure on your retina and the optic nerve can cause blindness. And so that's what glaucoma is. So marijuana, when we smoke it, first of all, let's talk for a minute. We've talked about drugs. Do you guys know what the different routes, how the different forms, ways you can take drugs? Yes. You can inject it. Very good. You can inject it into a vein, under your skin, or into a muscle. Yes.
You could like,
You. Yeah. You.
you could like, you can smoke it or sniff it.
Yes. Inhaling. That's called inhaling. Inhalation. And what happens is the drug is in the smoke, and when it hits your lungs, it's absorbed into your blood system.
You can put it in one of those inhalers, like those asthma inhalers.
That would be kind of like smoking. You're inhaling it, right?
You could do it out of a bong or snort it.
A bong would be like inhaling it. You're inhaling the smoke.
You could just eat it.
Yes. Yeah, that's one of them. Orally, we take it by mouth. Usually we swallow pills, but you know, some people can't swallow, so they chew them and they're eating it. Drink it would be orally. There's one more. You guys, we talked about injection, inhalation, and taking it by mouth.
You could put it like in your water or something and drink it.
That would be taking it by mouth, orally. We can put it on our skin and it's absorbed. And that's called topical or absorption. Cortisone cream, when you guys have had a rash and your mom might have put cortisone cream on, that cortisone is actually absorbed into your skin. There are a lot of medications now that we can give. People are seasick, they might put a little patch behind their ear and that drug is absorbed through their skin. So with marijuana, it's smoked and it's inhaled, and that's how it gets into our blood system. So it affects, alters, damages, destroys brain cells, controlling. We discussed all the things that the central nervous system in our brain does for us. So when we destroy brain cells, the thing about brain cells and nerve cells is that for the most part they do not regenerate, they do not heal themselves. Once they're damaged or dead, they're gone forever. They don't grow back, they don't regenerate, they don't heal themselves. So that's the danger with marijuana is that it kills brain cells, but they're gone forever. It affects, pleasure, coordination, memory. Now, what if you have this wonderful memory of summer vacation last year? You happen to smoke some marijuana, and those are the particular brain cells that die. You've lost that memory forever. The pituitary gland, you guys know what that is? You discussed the pituitary gland. It's in your brain there. It controls hunger, thirst, blood pressure, the release of sex hormones. You guys most of you starting to get into puberty. You're changing into adolescence. That's because you've got these, there are names for them, but we just classify them as sex hormones. And so we would not want to alter that. We like the fact that we're growing up and changing into young men and women, so we would not want to change that. You You guys know what a synapse is? Have you discussed that?
Yeah.
Okay. You know what's kind of a connection point between nerve cells, and as the message travels along, it goes through these synapses. Well, marijuana accumulates in the synapse and kind of clogs it up, and it impairs the ability of that nerve to let the message, or the synapse, to let the message pass on through. So, again, that's going to affect everything that you do. Every function of your brain is going to be affected if your synapses are all clogged up. You have an impaired driving ability. So not only alcohol affects your driving, but marijuana also. And of course, not just, we discussed, not just driving, but younger kids who don't drive, they might use a lawnmower, a weed eater. Yeah, Derek.
Well, what would happen? Won't the white blood cells come to get some of it?
Well, there are organs in our body that cleans drugs out. Liver is the primary one, but there are others that take the drug out of your body. White blood cells, I don't believe, play a part with marijuana. But the thing about marijuana is that it's stored in fat cells, and that the more we smoke and the longer we smoke, the more it's stored. So I think if you smoke 2 joints a day for a couple of months, all of your fat cells are totally saturated with marijuana, so that if you have a drug test, it'll show up. Even if you had a joint for like a month, it's going to show up. We have an altered sense of perception, and perception is just to perceive things, or, you know, we talk about our sense organs, we sense things. So all of those things, that the information we're taking in is kind of altered and kind of messed up and scrambled around. We kind of, our perception of space and time seems to pass really slow, but it hasn't actually. We have an inability to easily recall information that was just learned. So new information, say something you learned today, or say you studied for a test today and you got that test tomorrow. You go home and smoke a joint tonight, you might forget that information. So the point is, you work really hard to learn in school and improve your mind, and then you don't want to go and destroy all that and just wipe all that hard work out. Yes?
You could do that if you hold your season to use
I've never heard that. Maybe you could research that and find out. I don't know.
I heard it like on TV, like Family Matters, Steve Urkel said that.
Steve Urkel?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Sure, when you like make a pig sound like, I'm not gonna do it, you lose 3 brain cells.
I don't know.
Like that.
That's interesting. Maybe you guys can find out. Let Mrs. Liz know.
Very interesting question, I think.
Absolutely. So we also have a loss of concentration and a reduced ability to perform tasks. So things that should be very easy for us, like writing our name. We just did that little experiment. It should be very easy. It becomes hard to do. Panic reactions. Some people get high and they don't like the feeling. They're very afraid that things won't return to normal, and they panic. You guys ever panic? You know what comes to my mind is my brother would close me in the closet and not let me out. You know, it's dark, this little enclosed space. I knew I would get out eventually and that I wouldn't be hurt in there, but I panicked. I was just extremely frightened. We have a diminished motivation. So if we smoke a lot over a long period of time, we start not caring about school. We're just not motivated to study, and our grades drop, and we're just not motivated to. We'd like to get a car when we're 16, but we're not motivated to get out there and get a job. And pretty soon we're not even motivated to take a shower, and people just stop hanging out with us because we've just turned into a bum. We've lost motivation. And with long-term use, the brain we produce chemicals in our brain that make us feel good. A lot of runners, you might talk about a runner's high. You actually produce chemicals in your brain that makes you feel good. Well, if you put a lot of drugs in your body that make you feel good, then your brain stops producing it because you've got this artificial drug coming in, so the brain doesn't need to make it, so it stops. Then you take that drug away, you stop taking the drug, your brain is not making the drug, and you have nothing, so you feel lousy because you've got no drug at all in your body. And then that's the problem. That's why we become addicted and can't stop using it, because that feeling when we stop, we just feel awful, and so we have to go back and use the drug again to make ourselves feel good, because otherwise you can get off it, but it takes a long time. You have to be really strong and really motivated and want to get off drugs, because it's a hard thing to do. We talked about a lot of the things with alcohol. Slurred. One thing we didn't discuss was slurred speech. So I'd like to have a volunteer to come up here. You back here in the gray shirt. Oh no!
She's good. It has nothing to do with speech. She's a good choice.
Okay, I want you to read a poem for me, okay? But you gotta put this marshmallow in your mouth. Cool. You can't chew it. You can't chew it. You can't swallow it. But I want you to talk around it. Read that.
Sugar. This drunk girl says, the pond says that's only what it talks.
Now, did you guys understand what she said?
No.
That's because you
All
need
it
it
is
now.
talks.
That's kind of what it's like to have slurred speech. It's pretty, it's kind of frustrating for those of us who kind of wanted to hear the poem and couldn't. And it's frustrating for the person who's trying to communicate because no one understands her. But this is what she read. The drunkard staggers only when he walks. The pothead forgets only when he talks. So, that's kind of what it's like to have slurred speech. And try to understand someone. We'll talk about one more drug that young teenager abuse a lot, and that's inhalant. When we talk about that's one form. Inhalation is one form that we can use to get drugs into our body. But we also categorize a group of drugs as inhalants because primarily, that's how we get them into our body. Can you guys know what some of the inhalants are that we have used? Paint, yes. Can you hand up? Well, we inhale pot, yes, but we don't use it, we don't classify it with these, although you're right, we're inhaling it.
Rubber cement?
Yes, rubber cement. Whiteout. Glue. Cigarettes we're inhaling, and it has a drug. Nicotine is a drug. It's very addicting, but again, we don't classify it with these. It's a little bit different, but we are inhaling it.
Then paint thinner.
Paint thinner.
Gasoline.
Gasoline.
Nail polish.
What's that?
Nail polish.
Nail polish. So there are lots of them out there. We're going to talk about how those things affect the central nervous system. One thing is visual hallucinations. Do you guys know what a hallucination is?
Oh, yeah. When you see something that's not really there.
That's right. You see something that's not there. Or something you're looking at might be there, but it's kind of changed. It might be a different color. It might be a different shape. So it just totally changes your perception. So you can have visual hallucinations. What's the problem? What's wrong with the visual hallucination? You guys you got any ideas about why that would be a problem? Yes.
Because if you see something there and it's a car, and so you turn off the road, and then you just run into more cars.
Absolutely. Right.
I have two in there that I take on in the morning and one in the evening.
Yes. And you're using that drug because your doctor prescribed it, and it's good for you, and it helps you. And you do inhale some drugs. That's okay. So we do inhale drugs that the doctor prescribes for us that are good drugs that are used the way they're prescribed. Yes.
It's kind of like in Billy Madison when Billy sees a great big penguin and he's chasing after it and stuff.
I didn't see that movie. Yeah. Well, that's a hallucination. Or say you see, a bear in your bedroom, and you want to get away, and you jump out the window because there's no way out. It's in front of the door. Well, you've probably maybe killed yourself or certainly broken some bones. So visual hallucinations can be very dangerous. We can have numbness and tingling of the hands, severe headaches, a decrease or loss of the sense of smell. You guys ever try to eat when you have a cold, or ever hold your nose and try to eat? You can't taste very well, can you? Because your sense of taste and smell kind of work together. So, you know, and I really enjoy eating. I like to eat. So I would really hate my sense of smell to be gone, because first of all, I would like to be able to smell, but secondly, it's going to affect my taste and how I enjoy food also.
My cousin was entering the health fair, and he tried this thing on me where you like smelled like an orange and ate like a lemon or something.
Oh, really?
And then you had to guess what you ate.
Well, inhalants can decrease that sense of smell, or actually you might lose it totally forever.
Oh, it's one thing. Our teacher told us a story about this girl that she grew up. I don't know, like she took this drug or something when she was little or something that made her think that she could fly. And then when she got older, she went to her dad, and she was in a room, and the door was closed, and the window was open, and it was on like the second floor, and she thought she could fly, so she got back on the plane.
Was she killed? That's we call them. We talked about visual hallucinations, and inhalants can cause that to happen. But there are also particular drugs that you can take. LSD is one. We call them hallucinogens. It causes hallucinations, and you have again this altered perception. You think that you can fly for some reason. You think you can fly. A lot of people are killed that way.
When you're like what did tell me this, when you get a headache from like smoking cigarettes and stuff, isn't that from the oxygen getting cut off from to your brain?
Yes, when you smoke, the smoke displaces the oxygen. So yeah, you're getting less oxygen to your brain, but it also might be the nicotine. Yes.
Not too long ago, they arrested this one guy because he was carrying like 2,000 units of LSD or something.
How do you guys feel about that? You know, it's kind of out there. Does it worry you guys a little? You guys that will be involved, I think this year's with the Just Say No Club, right? And next year's DARE. We're just talking about how these things affect your brain, but you guys also need to know how to protect yourself from drugs, how to handle the situation if someone tries to get you to take drugs, and those clubs are really great because they're gonna address some of those issues and teach you how to deal with that and how to say no, and that's real important.
I think too that it's real important because right now at the middle school, maybe some of you have faced some decisions about drugs, maybe you've had people approach you, but when you get to junior high, it's more difficult. You have more of that to face. And then when you get to high school, there's even more of that. So you need to be prepared and be ready to be able to say no when someone says, "Oh, you're a baby, take this."
Right.
And you need to have a good response. Well, that can affect my nervous system. No, I'm not going to do that because why? Because I don't want to.
Right.
No, it's not right.
We know that it can harm us, our brains, other organs that we aren't talking about here today, but our brains, and some things that it does to us are permanent. We can never get that back again. So you have to be really strong. You have to feel good about yourself and be really a strong person, and you just have to say no.
Guys, we're kind of running out of time here, so could you kind of hold your questions and then we'll wait
I just
time
have
to
a
the
few
end?
more things. Are we finished at what time?
About a quarter after.
Okay. We'll just go through loss of hearing. Again, that would be terrible to lose your hearing. Brain damage. Again, we said those cells are not regenerated. When your brain is damaged, it's damaged forever. It's permanent. Nervous system damage. Again, the nerve cells, the same thing. The nerve cells do not regenerate. Slurred speech. We had a little demonstration here. Disorientation. You might not know where you are, who you're with, what time of the day it is, what day it is. Restlessness. Feelings of invincibility. Do you guys know what that word means? Invincibility.
It means like you're like unstoppable.
Right. Yes. Like nothing can hurt you. You might go out to the park and inhale some drugs, some chemicals. You might not be able to swim, but on this particular day, you're feeling pretty invincible. So you're just going to go jump in the lake anyway, and of course you're going to drown. So that's a big problem when you feel invincible. Severe mood swings. There was a case in Lancaster where some guys were inhaling gasoline at the park in Lancaster. severe mood swings. This guy just became very, very angry. One of the guys, he poured gasoline on another boy, set him on fire,
Whoa.
and the boy died.
Just like they did that little dog.
So you not only have to worry about what happens to you, but you got to worry about the people you're with and what they're going to do when they're under the influence of drugs.
I think that what you just said there, I'd like to just interject. I think that's a real good point. That you have to make some good choices when you choose your friends and the people that you wish to associate with. And you have to learn what they're about, how they feel, how they think, and you have to decide, gee, do I want these people to be my friends? Will I be comfortable with them? You know, will I be under peer pressure? And so what you just said is you have to make good choices all through your life, and one of them is choosing good friends also.
Absolutely.
Are you saying a friend did that to a friend?
Yes. Well, they were together. We assume they were at least acquaintances. They were together, hanging out together. Yes. They knew each other. Loss of motivation, we talked about that. That causes a lot of problems. Your grades go down, you might lose your friends. Altered state of consciousness, you could pass out. And depending on where you are or what the situation is, that can be very dangerous. Again, like we said, say you were inhaling gasoline, but you know, you're also, well, I'm going to smoke a cigarette. If you pass out, you drop your cigarette and, you know, the room catches on fire. So an altered state of consciousness, which is passing out, is a big problem. Sedation. Sedation is just, again, our central nervous system is depressed, we're kind of sleepy. Coma. These drugs can cause you to go into a coma. Respiratory disturbances or respiratory failure, and again, your respiratory system is your breathing. So if your breathing stops, you're going to die. Seizures and sudden death. These drugs are dangerous. They're very dangerous. Yes?
I feel like I have a hangover.
Well, a hangover is your body. We discussed how these drugs affect your brain. Well, I said they also affect a lot of other organs. And the reason you feel so lousy the next day is because you've actually damaged your body, and your body is suffering and is trying to recover. So, yeah, that's what a hangover is. You guys got any questions? Okay, thank you for being so